The topic for this video may seem, how you say, stupid or unnecessary. Words are the basis for modern communication, and this is something I wanted to make people think about and to argue my case as to why I think that the next Mass Effect game, that is the one that is planned to be succeeding Mass Effect Andromeda as teased on N7 Day of 2022 and 2023, shouldn't be called Mass Effect 5, but rather Mass Effect 4 or perhaps something else entirely. The reasons why we should call the next Mass Effect 5 is, on one hand, obvious. It's literally the 5th main installment in the series. That should be reason enough, shouldn't it? While I will agree completely every time that this is a perfectly reasonable and fair assertion, and I won't trouble you for using it, to be honest, but here I will make my case that I don't think this is the best name to use for the next Mass Effect game to come. Just because something is the 5th game chronologically in terms of release dates, that doesn't mean that it has to be numbered in concordance with the release time. Just look at Halo 4, that is literally the 7th Halo FPS in terms of release date. But something else made the power to be choose to call it Halo 4 and not Halo 8. An important element of choosing a title is the message that the title itself is sending. The title is telling you essentially what the game is about. For instance, Halo 3 ODST. The title compounds into the theme and setting of the game. You are an ODST, not the Master Chief. Same with Mass Effect Andromeda. You're implicitly told from the title alone that the setting will be a completely new galaxy, namely the Andromeda Galaxy, which is completely unexplored in the OG games. You can further infer a lot of things, like the fact that you likely won't be playing as the established protagonist of Commander Shepard. The Andromeda story, like the Halo 3 ODST story, though both have tie-ins to the main trilogies of their respective game franchises, are spin-offs with their own isolated stories. Their titles communicate this, and that adjusts our expectations. If we were to learn tomorrow that the next Mass Effect game would be called Mass Effect Andromeda 2, we would all know implicitly what that would entail, namely a sequel to the Ryder and Andromeda story. But if it's called Mass Effect Return of Shepard or something like that, we would naturally assume a completely different setting and set of expectations would follow.
Bad dog.
All teasers so far seem to point to the Milky Way galaxy being the focal point and the setting of the next Mass Effect game, though the Andromeda game is also teased to be relevant, but seemingly in a lesser regard and capacity so far. This may change as more information is revealed, naturally. Most likely hinted to by giving Liara and the Geth, for instance, a significant focus, and perhaps Cerberus is an idea after all. The story will work as more of a sequel to Mass Effect 3 than Andromeda did for Mass Effect 3. That Mass Effect Andromeda didn't address the ending of Mass Effect 3 or even the beginning of Mass Effect 3. Therefore, a good way to signal that this is a sequel with a sequel nature to Mass Effect 3, you could call it Mass Effect 4, in my opinion. Of course, we don't know what they will call it. Going by the trends in game naming these last years, we can expect it to be called Mass Effect Eternity, Infinite or Endless, or God forbid Mass Effect Anthem. I'm not opposed to another colon title, but it should sound cool though. Will you be calling it Mass Effect 4 in the interim, or Mass Effect 5? At least now you guys know what I mean when I say Mass Effect 4 in my videos, even though the next Mass Effect game has no official title yet.